Hey all, John here. Real quick, we call it out multiple times in the episode, but there is a content warning for sexual assault. We start actually going in depth about it at around an hour 35, so it's that something that you want to avoid or skip over. An hour 35 is when that happens. Other than that, enjoy the episode.
So right out the gate, real quick, just want to be like, content warning. We're going to be talking about sexual assault in media.
Yeah.
Because
Right
that's
out
what this
the
chapter
bat,
was.
Holy crap, dude. There have been, hints and nudges to, hey, this subject matter, Oda's kind of beating around the bush, but, you with the whole Boa Hancock backstory stuff.
It's
It's, kind of implied and, a little
it's not
chat, but it wasn't,
on the page.
It wasn't overt as it is. This chapter beats you upside the head with it.
Yeah. The Boa Hancock stuff is like if you got pegged by a baseball. This chapter is like getting hit in the head with the bat instead.
Yeah.
So, you probably, if you're caught up, you figure you probably put one and one together and know what's up. It's okay to skip this chapter, genuinely. I will put a timestamp for when we start talking about the bad stuff, so you can enjoy as much of this episode otherwise. Because there was a lot of discourse on Twitter about the chapter and people being like, "Oh, you're overreacting. People are overreacting." And it's like, dog, you don't know shit from fuck, so I don't know why you would.
Yeah.
You have no neurons with which to react.
Yeah.
So
it is definitely no. And it's within the first few pages they hit you with it too. It's not overreacting, bro. It's hell no.
Yeah, no. So content warning over. Very strange. Bro, I was tempted to bring up the name once again. He's been on the news. Explicitly not. And if TikTok has anything to tell you, if anyone on TikTok is not as a joke saying that hey, maybe this person with a very specific list of crimes has something good to say. I mean, are you sure?
Yeah, are we sure? We joke about it.
Yeah,
good old OBL.
Yeah, but not a friend of the show. As funny as it is to say, he would really like Gear Fifth.
Yeah, it's as funny as that is to think about that one fact about him that is probably true.
His letter to America,
yeah,
is not that big of a deal. Real quick, he's not anti-capitalist. He's literally a fucking nepo baby.
Yeah,
he spent all his life before the very specific date fighting socialists and communists. And
yeah, people think, I think just because Western media painted him because ooh, scary brown man, but
yeah,
Western media has just painted him as the fucking Sand Raiders from Star Wars, and it's dog, he was nepo baby, he was pretty well off,
okay, I don't want to look up his major, but I'm pretty sure he went to college. I don't want. So
biggest plot was he went to college for animation, dude.
Dude, that'd be insane.
He specialized in rubber hose animation.
I wanted to give a shout out to specifically Hosho Marine. She is the most important person on Earth.
She stepped in and she single-handedly stopped OBL.
No, no, I'm not saying that.
She was our last line of defense. She was on SEAL Team 6. Oh shit, no, wrong guy. Oh wait, no, guy, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was, because there was the recent news of like the guy who quote unquote took the shot Piglet.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
Like being a drunk in like downtown Dallas or some shit.
God, dude, before you continue with Hosho Marine, somebody's listening. We're like actively melting someone's brain with the amount of like information we're just shooting through their brain.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like if you know nothing about the man, that we're still euphemizing, because at this point I feel slightly like I don't want to like benefit from his SEO right now. In some capacity, no doubt we are.
We brought it up initially because it was funny. We did not have the foresight. I did not think that Zoomers would find and read his letter to America and like eulogize this man.
Yeah, exactly.
That was not on the 2023 bingo card,
monkey
at
paw
all.
Type shit. But you know what? If the monkey paw curled and that was the consequence, I'm fine with it, because then the gift that the monkey's paw gave me was Hosho Marine using her fucking big mama slammer fucking moolah to bankroll a fully animated like Yuri MV,
dude,
with Guargura.
Dude, Marine is like, she is just the best VTuber. I think I could say that. She's not my favorite, but I think I just have to unequivocally give it, because from what it seems to me, it's like anytime she wants something, like snap of her finger, it's done. Like, she is the Thanos of VTubers. She has the reality stone, and she can just make anything like that she wants.
I think like in as objective of a sense, the best all-rounded VTuber might be Marine.
Yeah.
Granted, she is like my favorite.
Yeah.
But like her comedic sensibilities, her like to a certain degree like business shrewdness, like yes, she is like bankrolling this shit and does not care that like likely will not make a profit, because like think about it, the new video has like 2 million views in a week. That's really, really good CPM. If this makes money, it might be in the realm of 20K.
Yeah. Going
down to 15K after taxes. She, for this 5-minute video in commissions, she like, okay, there, other than like her singing, for the music, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people involved.
Jeez.
With that's like recording, mixing, this and that. So whatever, 15, 17 people.
Yeah.
Recording time in a booth for both her and Gura.
Yeah. Dude, and like, even just technically, like, they're doing, I love what they're doing here, because I'm like 99% sure they're doing the same thing that oh god, I don't know if anybody, I think a lot of people watched the show. Hold on, what it was called? What was it called?
What show?
Oh my god, it was a boxing show. It was a recent one.
A recent
something Joe. The original. Hold on.
Oh, Immortal Joe?
Boxing anime. So the manga, I think, was called Ashita no Joe.
Ashita no Joe. I'm thinking of Immortan Joe from fucking
I think that's
Mad
the one.
Max.
Megalobox. That's
the one.
So Megalobox season 1 and 2. So it was a newer show. It came out like within the past like 5 years. I think it was like 2017 was the it was 2017 I think, cuz that was the day the final episode came out was the day that Wano started. I remember.
Oh wow.
I only remember because we got to CEO, we got to our hotel, and then we all we were gonna go to the convention center because it was open. It was the first year we went to Daytona. The first and last year we went to CEO Daytona. And then we watched it. But all that to say, that was like a newer anime. So it was all digitally like drawn, but
right.
They purposefully like downscaled it to make it look like it was all new like animation technology, but they purposefully like downscaled it to make it look like just like you were watching like an old like 90s anime. Like that was the vibe they were going for.
Right.
And it's super good, but it has the same thing as this music video. Like it was like purposefully lower like resolution.
Yeah, quote unquote, like stylistically choiced that way.
Stylistically choiced, lighter like line art. Like the line art's really like, lighter, like those old shows.
Like there's the cell shading trick where you just let the light box go through because the cell shade is like partially transparent. In this music video. This is very traditionally done, even if it's most likely like digitally produced.
Yeah. So it's so good.
Thank you for that like addition, because that gave me time to start counting. Unfortunately, I gave up in counting the amount of staff involved in this music video. I got to immediately before the people who did in-betweens for the animation, and I counted 51 people.
Jesus, dude.
Like, just for animation, and I'm leaving out, like, literally half of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did not fucking make shit for money with this video. No shot. Like, okay, like, let's say the fucking, I don't know, like, 20, 30 people who did, like, in-betweens and coloring and like, color grading, whatever. Like, let's say she, like, paid them, like, shit, or whatever. And we're just considering the 51 people who did the fucking, the main frames. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm not crazy about this stuff. Whatever. 50 what people, like, for okay, it's 20, let's call it 10 frames per second.
Yeah.
On 5 minutes, 5 times 60 times 10. That's 3,000 frames, right? We're being really generous here. It's probably closer to like 5,000-6,000. And it's probably going to take people some time to like do like each of these frames. Like, yeah, no, like I don't think she's paying Mappa rates and like on their fucking schedule, which we're not going to get into that. But fuck them. Now we're not getting into that.
That's a whole other thing. I think it could be summed up with a Mappa, like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. 15K? No, she didn't profit off this. But that doesn't matter to her. Because what did matter was her kawaii ooh-woo little shark friend from the United States, who she has no idea what the fuck she's saying, came all the way over to Japan. Mama Marine fucking slammed down. No one can go band to band against
dude.
Marine.
Dude, going band to band against Marine, dude. That, you know what that looks like? Like, if you find me a person that can go band to band against Marine, like that's the final fight of Gurren Lagann. They're like throwing galaxies at each other. Like that's
like the person who could would be like Pokimane.
Dude, I think maybe the only other person would be like Iron Mouse.
Yes, and without a doubt.
That's like a maybe, dude.
Right, because like cost of living stuff, like cost of living in Japan's fucking peanuts. Like,
yeah.
The point is, like, she whipped out her bands to just fucking flex on her little kohai, and then like made the most like this is Yuri.
Call her Mrs. Rock Festival. She got hella bands.
And then like on top of that, like the way like she's portrayed herself, because she was the director for this project too. Let's not cut her fucking short on this, right? Like, she had a vision and brought it to fruition herself. And also, again, like, I don't know what cut, she's probably talked about it on stream, but I don't know what cut she did. But she also animated. And then on top of that, she's like, dude, when she said the year of 30 is in demand, she understood that with her whole fucking chest.
Bruh.
Because, like, she's got that older woman vibe in here, this whole video. There's, like, a bitter sweetness to, like, everything. Like, bro, it's just the vibe. It is so good. Thank you, Hosho Marine.
Thank you, Hosho Marine. Thank you for just being the most powerful VTuber.
Yes, genuinely. Like, and like, who's to say? Like, I'm not one of the people. Go ahead.
She is Virgil from Devil May Cry if instead of seeking all the power for like revenge, he just like used it to work out. Like that's what it is. Like, that's what this is. It's like she has all of this infinite wealth, power, money, and she just is like, yeah, I just want to do shit that I like. That's cool. Music video, like, for a genre that me and Gura like, hell yeah, let's do it. Gura, you want to come record vocals? Mama's got you. Let's fly you over. Like, let's do this.
It's just like we're so fucking lucky to get this, and genuinely, I'm kind of glad I'm not one of those people who like freakishly knows every single fucking detail of like behind the scene VTuber stuff. John and I have been gossiping a lot lately, but even that aside, there are people that are like I know what I know only because it reaches me. I don't look. Yeah. It has reached me.
Yeah, the influence.
Like, but no doubt there is someone, you know how like when Bitcoin wallets, right? They're super anonymous, this and that, whatever. No, they're fucking not. Like, you just like you're still like incredibly traceable throughout the internet. So in the same way that hackers will track people's like specific spendings and what they do with their quote-unquote anonymous wallets, I feel that you could also go on that Japanese site for commissions, Skeb. You could go there and like cross-reference like who is like commissioning what. If you get people commissioning of course, like for Hosho Marine, people commissioning for Sakura Wars, and oh man, I don't even know, like, what, and like Toho. If you find a person who is dumping like GDP levels of money into those 3 specific tags on Skeb, you have found Marine's account.
Yeah.
I know that without a fucking shadow of a doubt.
Dude. It's like power scalers and stuff. Oh, he's island level. He's like sky splitter level. The Ocean Marine is GDP moving level.
Yeah. Like, I have no doubt this woman still eats ramen every fucking day. Probably not. She's I've heard some things that she's like trying to eat healthier and stuff, but like she does not spend anything much onto herself other than literally being Mansa fucking Musa and destroying local economies with how she's just throwing bands around.
Yes. Oh my god. Well, I okay. 2 podcasts I wouldn't mind being: a TCG podcast and now a Ocean Marine podcast.
Dude,
if I look, I think we could both agree, like, this is our brand. We're not gonna sell out. We're not gonna be sellouts for any other brand. Dude, if Ocean Marine came down from the heaven and like threw her bands at us and was like, I own you now, talk about what yes, mom. Yes.
Dude, are you like,
yes, boss. Yes. Yes, captain.
I would do an unfortunate amount of stuff just to fucking talk to her and shake her hand.
Yeah.
An unfortunate amount of stuff.
Yeah.
All respect for her, no like horniness, like whatever. Like I get it.
Yeah, just
like MILF 30s in demand. She's great. Like I'm horny. Yeah, whatever. Okay, none of that. I want to shake my boss's hand. Yeah.
Her and Fubuki on their radio show, they had, I think, the guy that sang "We Are," and he sings a lot of the One Piece openings, and then I think the guy that helped write the song. They had them on an episode. I'd have to track it down because I remember hearing about the episode, but like I don't speak Japanese, so I didn't find a transcript of the episode because I would have liked to have read like what they talked about with them, but it sounded cool. But from that, I'm like, all right, they're down with the piece.
Dude, if you or a loved one personally know Hosho Marine, please have this clip. None of the Osama bin Laden stuff before that. Please, cut that out.
Yes.
Direct download this episode. Cut that out. And then show her the rest of this.
Yeah. Show her every part of it, just cut around the OBL stuff.
Yeah. Alira Pandora, if you're listening to this
Alira Pandora.
I feel schizo at this point.
Yeah, we're just talking to all the like other dude. Alira definitely listens to us, and she definitely look, she might be sus of the Osama. Like at first she laughed the first time we talked about it. And if she's still listening now it's like, okay, we're on guard now. Like, look, we definitely did not have anything to do with this. Dude, we're like Schlatt, who like kept joking about the Queen of England dying, and then the day it actually happened, he was like flying back from England, and he was like, guys, I know how insane. Yeah, he's like, I know how insane this sounds, but I need you to know, like, please don't joke about this. I had zero things to do with this.
Oh my god, God. I don't want this to take up too much more time, but the thing that I was originally going to open up with was about the new Scott Pilgrim and how excited I am for it. I know it's like out. I'm the one who had COVID, so we had to skip last week. But I've only just recently have started feeling alive again, so I'll get to it. But I think, if I recall correctly, I was talking to Adri about how there has to be like Scott Pilgrim creates manic pixie girl like women, right? Which nowadays the kids are calling them BPD like girlies.
Yeah.
Like Scott Pilgrim is like designed in a like Soviet lab to produce them.
Yes.
And I referred to Scott Pilgrim as the invisible hand for like emo bitches.
It is. Scott Pilgrim is it's the perfect measuring stick. It's the perfect like litmus test of media literacy.
Oh my god. Yes.
Because if somebody likes Scott Pilgrim and if you've like if you read Scott Pilgrim and then you start questioning other people who like Scott Pilgrim about specific things their answer will reflect onto you like how good or bad their media literacy is. Like if they think that Scott Pilgrim is a cool guy and all these fucking bitches in his life are treating him like shit, they don't understand the media they consume like at all.
Yeah, like if you are a junior in high school and you think Scott Pilgrim is cool, like I think you're like that sucks. Get better, sweaty. But like I think you're fine to be that immature still.
Yeah. If you think that Ramona Flowers is like literally just exists to be Manic Pixie Girl and is not like a highly damaged character, like
yeah, like then come on, brother.
Yeah. All that to say, I am also super hyped for that. I haven't started it yet, but I'm super hyped for it because
I read some like headline or something from some idiot like Gamergator type dude that like apparently I'm not even gonna say fucking spoilers because I doubt this is true, but like oh they like kill Scott off like 2 episodes in and it's just a reimagining of like her dealing with her exes by herself. And on one hand, I literally have never seen a still of Scott in any of not the first 2 episodes. So I can't say it's not true.
Yeah.
But if that is true, that's insane.
Yeah, that is insane.
That'd be crazy. Okay. We are now
starting now. We're Paramecia Fancast, the One Piece fancast where we review the latest chapters of One Piece and have different One Piece related discussions every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And it's the manga's technically on break this week, but we got a little COVID. But everyone's doing you guys are doing good now.
Oh my god, much better. I
safe
still
and much better.
I'm dealing a bit with the brain fog. It hit me real bad this time. I don't know what was up with everything, but like, yeah, no, that's the only thing that's really lingering. Otherwise, yeah, like some sinus stuff, but like we're good. We got clear. Like it took us a full 7 days to get good, but
all right, good stuff.
We're A-okay. We went out to H Mart on Sunday because we had no fucking choice but to go on a Sunday. Full as fuck. Never go to H Mart on Sunday. That's when the honkies come out.
That's when everybody, especially like this specific week coming up.
Oh yeah, no, it was rough. Yeah. But you know, we're able to like get back to everything.
Yeah.
So. All good. Thank y'all for your patience.
Yeah. But this chapter, 1098, Bonnie's birth. There's a reader request, and it's Brooke busting out a solo using an electric eel to power his guitar. And it's pretty cute, but on his pants, there's like writing, and it's a message from Oda. And it's just, to my knowledge, since I've been reading weekly, this is the first time that this has ever happened.
I believe.
Like, it just says, I didn't finish the art in time. I'm sorry. Like, it's not even, like, super, super bad. It's just, a lot of the scenes you could tell are like still like sketched, but even like dude, I mean that's just a testament to how good he is. Even like just the sketch is like still looks good.
Yeah, like it really is just like, I mean, it's hard to say how much of this is still sketch, because like the body of the guitar he like got out like pretty quick, and then he definitely like blocked out and inked out like all of like Brooke.
Yeah,
so like that's like already like a lot of like the figure work done. The fucking eel in the back, crisp as hell.
Yeah.
But
so it's
it's
this one's fine
really
throughout
cute.
the chapter.
I just love like on the left leg it just says gomenne.
Yeah. Which is like crazy. The first time that like I've ever seen like Oda just not like finish the artwork of a chapter in time, and I was like, oh well, like whoa, like
yeah, hopefully it's related to like him having to participate in like the media tour for the live action.
Oh yeah, probably. And just like end of the year stuff, I imagine, because I think also this chapter so the way the pattern usually goes is like what, 3 weeks and then, or 2 weeks and then a break or something like that.
3 and a break, I think.
3 and a break. I think this was like this was the 4th week, and then the break is this week. So what we're used to, I think that's what it was, is that it was like this was the 4th week, and then the break was this week. So I don't know if he just really wanted to get this chapter out, if he had other obligations to tend to or something. And maybe
possible.
That's why. But I mean, all that to say, like most of the chapters finished, and in the volume release it'll be like actually like finished, because this happens every once in a while in other manga. Specifically, I remember in My Hero it happened one week with
oh yeah, no dude,
it was the concert with Eri where she like,
was it that chapter?
Yeah, it was that chapter, because I think a lot of the stuff with the ice, like when Todoroki's using the ice and they're like flying around, it was all like really rough sketched. And then the part of the chapter that was like he finished on time and was fully clean was the end, where she like starts smiling and she shrugs off what's his face, the shadow of what's his face.
Overhaul?
But then I remember, Overhaul, yeah. But I remember that like when the volume came out, that chapter was like it's the actual like definitive version of the chapter now.
Oh,
so
okay, hold on. I have to like really quick fact check something really quick.
Oh no.
Okay, I think this is true. Okay, yeah. A second BL has hit the podcast. I have for the first time in my life seen a picture of his son.
Wait.
Yes, it's in the podcast notes.
Whose son?
His.
Hold on. What is this? @_Mr. Pussy.
Ignore that.
Oh God damn it,
dude. Okay.
Oh my God.
The second picture on the tweet is kind of endearing.
Yeah.
Apparently he's like a painter and stuff. Like he's I don't know what his politics are.
Friend of the show.
Hey, Omar.
I need to stop.
If you like One Piece.
Oh no.
Okay.
We just need you to let us know if your dad would like.
No,
do you think
dog? I don't.
Do you think he would like Gear 5?
Is this putting us on a list?
Probably.
Okay. Revolutionary Army HQ Baltigo requesting aid. We're right where we left off. Requesting aid. Rebellion in Toomey in the South Blue is overmatched. We can't go. Our ships are already loaded with the injured from Goa Kingdom, which it kind of is a throwaway line here, but also like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, Ivankov was there. Ivankov, Luffy mom?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I don't.
Bruh.
No, like
Dragon Empreg?
Dragon Empreg? This is probably when they picked up Sabo, is what I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
So,
because I think a couple panels later in this chapter, you see Kuma like sparring with Sabo.
I believe. Yeah.
But also it has to be like right around the time. They don't give a timeline, but it's like Kuma's like, I'll go. And I was like, don't even think of it. You've been pushing yourself too hard ever since then. And he like touches down on the land and he's ready to F the whole place up. And he's just remembering like, Ginny's been captured. That's right. It seems the Celestial Dragon had his eye on her and she was taken on a government ship to be the Celestial Dragon's wife. And like, so that's what happened. Like that silhouette was a Celestial Dragon that like took her.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like, again, the grossness of this all when we actually get to it, but like, was the Celestial Dragon one of the ones on God Valley? Like, that makes it even grosser.
Right. Like, the context of like, has had his eye on her for a while.
Yeah.
Has so much, because like, she was a slave before. She's been a slave since she was like 8 or something.
Yeah.
Like, and then the God Valley incident, like, put a target on her back. The target just grows bigger ever since her joining the Revolutionary Army. Like, there's so much to that specific statement. But yeah, like, that was the specific moment that like really it sets a lot of things off.
Yeah.
And
oh god.
Yeah. Fucking the Kuma goes in, saves the day for this land of Toomey. There, everyone's like, "Oh, we won! Finally, 3 years of war have paid off at last. It's all thanks to the Revolutionary Army." And we're like back and forth, like we're still like back to before Kuma touches down. Our unit was wiped down by a surprise attack. Oh, it's the revolutionaries again. The Revolutionary Army are the true heroes of the people. This is after Kuma. And then back again. I'm sorry, it's me, Dragon. I'm tired. I'll take a ship home. I'm so sorry. And after, again, like, we get an unfortunate Oda box of Ginny, a captain of the Revolutionary Army, was abducted and made into a Celestial Dragon's wife. And it's just Kuma crying on his boat back.
Yeah.
And no. What am I talking about?
It's Ginny. So there's crying, and then she's like, "We're here, Bonnie." 2 years later, and they call Baltigo, and they're like, "Kuma, it's from Ginny." And they all like get on the phone, and she's like, "Hey, I'm back, Kumachi, back to the lower world." Like,
yeah,
bruh.
That sucks.
Yeah, I got sick. See, they didn't want me anymore. They dumped me off. Lucky me, huh? I really wish I could see you all, but this is me saying goodbye. And Kuma is like freaking out, like, "What are you saying? Like, I thought I'd never see you again. Where are you? I'll be there at once. I'm sorry, Kumachi. Like, I'm dying. It won't be long now. I appreciate your concern, but don't come looking for me. Dragon, big bro, watch over Kumachi. He's too kind for his own good." And, dog, I feel for Kuma. Look, dude, he's like, he starts running out of the place, and he pops himself, like, to head, like, to the island, like, where she is. And you could see, like, in the panel, after he pops himself, like, "Kumachi, just remember, I'll always, always love you." And you see, like, he crashes down on the island, like...
Yeah.
Dude, and it's... So, they introduce, like, the reason why Bonney is called Jewelery Bonney, and it's another, like, mystery for now. but it's the sickness that she was talking about is like, because they're like, oh, you're back. Where's Ginny? Is she here? She is, but her face and body, all of her skin, turns blue and hard as stone after it's been exposed to natural light, she said. And he's just looking at her and remembering, like, I wonder what happened to her. And he's just, dude, this is like the sad, like,
the worst thing. Like, he picks up her
my heart like
body.
sank reading this.
Yeah.
Because of like the implied stuff, but also like just like Kuma holding her like dead body there. And it's just like, dude, this is, oh God.
Yeah. Like him thinking about how she wanted to get married to him.
Yeah.
And then salt on wounds. Someone adds on like, oh, she crossed the sea by day to ensure her baby lived in case anything happened to herself. Somehow she made it here safely. And there's little Bonnie, confirmed probably 12 years old in the current timeline. Which like a lot of people are like, Oda, why'd you do this?
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't really care too much. I don't think there's like...
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's... I mean, we had kind of like called it out because like... Honestly, the thing for me was the way she reacted to Sanji was very, very childlike. Very like,
sure.
Oh, he's so nice and he's so cool. And it was like...
Yeah. Like in retrospect, I was putting it all out of mind. To be like,
that was the thing that kind of pointed me towards her being like younger, like that she's just using the fruit to stay aged up. Because I'm like, dude, like,
I mean, you'd always pointed out like she was always very like daddy this, daddy that.
Yeah,
my
daddy
pop.
That she gets along super well with Luffy, which is like, I mean, emotionally he's maybe a 12-year-old as well, but
right by virtue like. It's kind of just there
with God's powers.
Yes,
I know this is sad, but speaking of God, I just want to point out the cross in the church has the same symbol as like Alabasta and stuff.
The same
and
sun
Wano
symbol.
Yeah,
like 1 in the middle, 8 all around.
Yeah,
it's there. There's something there.
Yeah.
How many moons were there?
Oh God, where's an L? But dude, yeah, we do get some cute scenes after. So like, dude, it's just so sad. Like he's standing in front of Ginny's grave, and then we get like a whole montage of different things happening. So first he's getting yelled at. They're like, "No, all wrong," and he's like this, and they're like, "The bottle's the wrong angle. You're drowning poor Bonnie in milk. Here, let me do it." And all the old ladies are like trying to like fawning over Bonnie. They're like, "Oh, she's so cute. She needs an iron cage to sleep in. If you roll over, you'll crush her."
I just now realized. I guess I didn't read that bubble. Because as I kept going, like, yes, there is a literal iron cage that she sleeps in. And I was like, dog, why the fuck?
Yeah.
And then in fan art, like, where, like, you know, a very normal response to a chapter like this, a fix-it fan art, where, like, Ginny still lives. Like, she's also in the cage. I'm like, what the fuck is the cage? What did I miss?
Yeah, why is the whole fandom, like, hate children?
Children, pink-haired people, huh?
Yeah, wait, when did we start hating children? Like, I love that. If you roll over, you'll crush her. Because it's beyond like Michael Jordan palming the basketball. Like he is like look at how tiny she is in his palm.
Yeah, like she's a fucking grape to him. It's crazy. Yeah. Like crazy. And he's feeding her. Like, oh, look at her go. She's got Ginny's appetite, and it's like, man, fuck. And then time continues forward. Presumably first word or first time saying daddy. She's
dude
Kuma
crying, holding her in his hand, like,
and then she gets this like cute little outfit, very like
this is
first
my
day of
panel.
school type thing.
Yeah.
All the old people just like hip hip hurraying, and Kuma in the back crying just as well.
Yeah.
And, like,
being a good dad and then killing people
on the side, you know, he's still doing his revolutionary stuff.
Yeah.
Which, like, lucky of him, of all people, to in the One Piece world have the option to say like, oh, daddy's going to work. He paws himself back to Baltigo.
Dude, yeah, like his he's like, okay, he's part of the Revolutionary Army, like, for life, right? But he's literally clocking in for shifts. Like, all right, daddy will be back at 5, pops himself to work.
Yeah, and his work is Revolutionary War.
Blasts a few Marines, liberates a few islands, and then, all right, well, it's 5. I gotta clock out, guys. My daughter is waiting at home.
And, like, I feel like this chapter was, like, also emotionally rough for Oda. Because the panels that are most complete, I feel, are the panels that are...
the feel-good ones.
The feel-good ones, the home ones.
Yeah.
And, dude, here we go, the Iron Cage. And then, as you had mentioned, the sparring with Sabo. And then, back to feel bad. What are you doing, man? Why shutter all the windows in the church? Huff, huff, wheeze, wheeze. Shut the door. Look below her eye. A blue stone. Wait, is that what killed Ginny? I'll call the dog. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
You can't live.
And then, like, the doctor's like, really? When you go into sunlight? Let's take you out for a test. Don't you dare. Well, it's not white lead disease, so I'm so sorry I don't recognize this one. Which, at first, I was trying to remember. I was like, what does white lead disease do? Because when they said Ginny was, like, sick with something,
yeah,
my first immediate thought was, like, is this white lead disease? But then no. I remember, like, that was I think that was like a north blue or like a west blue thing?
It was a north blue thing? It's...
I think so, yeah, because it was...
Because that's where Law was. At the White Terminal or whatever.
Yeah,
Gray Terminal? Is that in Goa Kingdom? Hold on.
Gray Terminal's in Goa Kingdom. He was in his town, and then I remember it got... like, the whole town got, like, annihilated by the sickness. And then that's when he walked up strapped with grenades.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought it was. But then, like, when they started describing, like, oh, like...
Why did fans translate it as amber lead? What?
Amber...
It just doesn't make sense.
Amber lead poisoning was...
Was it something else?
I think that was... white lead disease, amber lead disease. The what she's referencing is the same thing with Law, because what it was the reason they got it was because they were mining the amber lead, or it might just be a scanlation translation thing.
It is, because the first one is the kanji for amber.
Yeah,
but like Oda like threw that out just because like. Instead for it to like mean like white rock. Yeah,
because it like they were mining the rock and then it would turn their skin like white.
Right. But like it this is the kind of thing where like I really wish people would let go of the fucking scans thing. Like the Zoro Zolo thing, I get it. It's like you spend your whole life with that I get. Zolo is more correct. Let's not be mistaken on that, but like, like, it's fucking, it's not amber, it's white lead, like, so yeah.
So that's what I thought it was at first, but then when they start going into it, like the blue stones, I was like, what the heck? Like, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to the end, but it's like I have no idea what it could even like.
I
Where
don't
it could
know.
even come from or what it means, but
Right. Like,
um,
is this related to something in God Valley? Probably not.
yeah.
Like, we do know that celestial dragons will do a lot of fucked shit to their slaves, including like chemical, like, picture it this way. Ginny was a slave wife. You don't want her escaping. You don't want her going out. You don't want her doing anything, right? Without your permission, without anything. So, like, you want her under
as
your
messed up
roof.
as it is in insurance policy.
Yes, precisely. It isn't. This disease is a fucked insurance policy to make sure that Ginny doesn't escape or doesn't even go out without like the Celestials' permission. Like, leave the roof. She's an accessory. So it's probably related to that.
Yeah.
We'll learn some later,
so
I feel. Like, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. We'll talk about it at the end of the chapter, but continuing on, Kuma, like, without getting any answers from the doctors, he's like quitting the revolutionaries. He tells Dragon and Iva, and he tells them like Iva's like, Bonnie's caught the same disease, and he's just like, yes, I don't know what to do, but I want to be with her. And Dragon, dude, I've gotten a lot more, like, I meme on Dragon for being like absentee father to Luffy, and just not even being Luffy's father, basically, like just being a separate character, like, other than saving Luffy at Logtown, that's like pretty much it. Like, but I do, I think the way they've been depicting him, like, as a recently,
leader,
as
a revolutionary,
he is such a good leader and like person. It's like, very well, live without regrets. We'll ask every doctor in the world that we can. And it's like, when he said that, like, at least to me as I'm reading this, again, from the way Dragon has been depicted in the most recent stuff that we've seen him in more and more, like, I truly believe that, like, Dragon, like, that's not just flowery words from Dragon. That's like, bro, like, from homie to homie, like, I will ask every doctor I ever come across and we will find something. And it's like, damn.
And like, you know, to give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, he's still an absentee father, like, but he sees the world as fucked up, corrupt, and never going to change unless people do some, you know, acts of what the state considers terrorism. He doesn't want his child in that. Like, we can somewhat assume that. I don't think it's a case of like, oh, I don't want Luffy near me. The fucking kid's weird.
Yeah, this kid's weird, dude.
Yeah, he smells bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just like, go a kingdom somewhere that he's going to be safe. The Don owes me or some shit. Like, and no one knows I'm from there. So like, fuck it. Like, we'll leave him there. And then I can live my life without regrets insofar as giving my child a better life, a better world to live, right?
Yeah. And you can see that sort of reflected here, where he's telling Kuma basically the same thing, like, dude, like whatever you have to do, that you'll live with zero regrets, like. Yep.
And like, it's impactful. It's really impactful. Dude, like, one, he should have just taken Luffy with him. But two, he is a pretty good guy. Like, Oda does probably have some understanding of the actors of the Cuban Revolution. Actually.
Oh, no, for sure. He has to. Like, Dragon is, like, based on Fidel Castro, and like even the ship is named after the like the one. Yeah, like Castro, Che Guevara, like whoever. Yeah. Like,
I don't know. There's just a lot to it, but like, moving on. 7 years ago, Bonnie, age 5, like, oh, run away! Don't get eaten by the vampire. And we get, dude, like big ass head kid. We gotta fucking love that. Kids with big ass heads, they know what's up. Her just fucking giving a face and flipping them the bird. Get lost and don't get found, stupid brats. Goes hard.
That goes hard. Get lost and don't get found. Dude, that yoinked Bonnie. That's being stolen. What are those memes where it's like the white people lingo where it's like, yo, dude, they really popped off. They really popped off when they said, get a clue.
100%. 100%.
Body,
this is exactly
body popped
like that.
off with this one.
This is a Caucasianism.
Yeah, body popped the hell off with this Caucasianism. But I do love like Bonnie age 5 and hey, you can't come this far. Your vampire can't come into the light. Take this cross. Shing. This is a church, idiot. And she drop kicks him. And I love, like, you want me to chase you out of here? And then the kid's crying, and I love the little silhouette of, like, gremlin Bonnie, like, ah!
Dude, confirmed that Bonnie has something to do with Eve.
Yeah.
Just the little shadow in the back.
Oh my god. I just want to say, because, like, this narrator box, Oda box, confirming that, like, she is 12 years old as of the events of the current story. Which means...
And we've had no retraction.
Yeah. Dude, during Marineford, like, hindsight's 2020, dude, when she's crying seeing the pacifistas and stuff, she's freaking 10.
Dude,
she's 10 years old watching that unfold, and it's like, bro...
Yeah,
like,
she's doing like, a pretty good job contending with the pacifistas she's seen now, compared to then.
Yeah, but it's like, bro... What the heck, man? But, we get little older priest Kuma who's like, please, just don't go outside. Like, even the doorway makes me nervous. You're such a chicken, daddy. I'm just kidding with them. Well, don't do it, even as a joke. I won't. I don't want to make you sad. Aw, you're grown up to be such a good girl. Stop it, cry, baby. And then, you know what they did? They made fun of my face stones again. Is that weird? It's a disease. I can't help it. And then he's like, what? Your jewels?
Dude, and like he's got that like
with the little like shining like ding.
He's got that fucking young dad cheesing going on.
Yep.
He's just there to cheer her up, man. They're just jealous because it makes you look so beautiful. And then her little smile, like, oh.
I love it, dude. I love them. And she's like blushing and, dude.
And then just, they're talking there like, oh, after you're cured, Bonnie, if we went on a trip, where would you want to go? Oh, do you know about Sky Islands? Fuck!
Yeah, bruh.
Oh, there are islands in the sky? That's right. I saw it in a book. Maybe Nika will be there since it's so close to the sun. I bet you'd be excited about that, Daddy. Dude, like, okay, like, knowing that Bonnie is 12 now, she is for sure joining the Straw Hats if she doesn't stay with Vegapunk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I would put my, like, we at Paramecia Fancast have put our money, we've tried to go band to band with Oda, betting who would join the Straw Hats. Yeah. And I think I personally am about 0 for 7. But I would like Bonnie to join.
Like, not even like a crew, like fucking chopper type capacity.
Chopper type capacity. I would like, I know everyone's like, oh, well, Bonnie has her own crew, but it's like, she kind like, does she? Like, she had, like, she has the jewelry pirates, but it's like,
she's always alone.
are they even? Yeah, she's like a solo actor, like always when we've seen her. I think the only time we've seen her crew is when, like, during Marineford. And then, like, it's kind of implied, I think, that they've gotten, like, demolished because ever since the time skip, ever since Marineford, she's, like, solo acting. So...
Yeah, and, like, even still, like, she's fucking 12. Like...
Yeah, exactly.
If your leader's a 12-year-old, like...
Yeah.
You're gonna stick around for that?
Yeah. Plus, I could... Okay, like, thematically, like... So there's the whole... like SBS thing of like, oh, Kuma's fruit fits the number scheme of the devil fruits on the crew. He's the 2 missing numbers. Like, is he joining the crew? And Oda was just kind of like, oh, like, that's very interesting. I could totally see now if, like, at the end of Egghead, like, Luffy, Sun God Nika, like, is able to liberate, air quotes, Kuma.
Yeah.
And by that, like, you know, at least give him some sort of closure or, like, some sort of his humanity back before he, like... Because I don't think Kuma's really making it past this.
No.
Like, I really do think that Kuma's, like... He's heading back to Egghead to maybe retrieve the memories or something, but I don't think he's, like, gonna fully become whole again.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, we're getting a flashback about him. Yes, this is about Bonney, but he's the main, like, reason we're getting the flashback. And if we're getting a flashback for someone like that, like, gone, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah. So I could see where it's like, oh, like, in liberating Kuma, like the last remnant of Kuma that exists in this world is gonna join the Straw Hats. And it could be Bonney. If she becomes, like, an official member, that'd be sick as hell. Even if not, like, if she goes the route of, like, Bellamy, where, like, at the end of this, they're like, yo, like, here's the Vivre card, like, we got you.
But I don't think, like, so I feel like the crew is going to find out that she's 12 at some point. Like, Vegapunk's going to tell them. And all of them would be,
they're not
like,
gonna let a
12-year-old just fucking go the fuck around. Like, Zoro at most would be like, it's not much safer with us, and it's like, okay, but, like, who else is there? Like, so I could see it being a possibility, and like, this next line, the sky would be a huge adventure. Maybe we'll do it once you turn 20. That's 8 years in the future from now. Hear me out. What if... Because, like, there's the whole thing of, like, they get to Raftel and... or Laugh-Tail. I am also burdened by this. Mind you. They get to Laugh-Tail, and there's this, like, popular fandom idea that, like, they're gonna have to, like, make the rounds again. And that started at first with Brook and Laboon. Like, that they gotta go all the way around to see Laboon again. But now,
I think
functionally,
it was in,
was it in
no,
SBS?
go ahead. No, it's just in the story. I think it was in Zoe. They were explaining, like, oh, like, the reason Gold Roger had to do the 2-time around was because he got to Lodestar Island and he learned of, like, the actual...
Right.
Like, he learned of, like, he was on his journey to get to the end of the thing, and then the ending he got was Lodestar Island, and then there is where he learned about, like, the Void Century.
And get the poneglyphs.
He went to backtrack to find out everything else, but because they mentioned in Zoe, they're like, oh, like, because you have Robin, like, you guys have basically skipped over all that step because you know what the poneglyphs say, and, like, you're already, like, you have Nico Robin who can read the poneglyphs, so you've already, like, you're basically already on the second round, like, knowledge wise.
Right.
But I do think that, like, I still think that, like, I agree, because I still think whatever's on Laugh-Tail, like Laugh Tale is not where the final like. There's something else that's not on Laugh Tale. I don't think the One Piece specifically is on Laugh Tale.
Right.
Or like maybe it is, but I feel like there's other stuff in the world that's like now that we know everything and we're on Laugh Tale, like
the message
there's
needs
something
to be
else.
Spread.
Yeah, there's something else in the world that's like we have to go there immediately for like, it's story sake. Like
Yeah.
I don't, like there's something else, there's another island that has a secret or something, or
The first time around gave birth to the Great Pirate Era, but the second time with Luffy coming around, like and spreading the gospel of whatever he found there, so to speak, would ostensibly bring about a like great freedom era. To say. But if so, like they take Bonnie with them, let's say, right? They get to Laugh Tale without like having dropped her off anywhere. As they go back, they like detour East Blue. Hey, Goa Kingdom, remember me, King Smelly? Fuck yourself. And then while they're there, like, oh hey, Dadan, guess what? I'm the third deadbeat here to just drop off a child in your hands. I came out fine.
Yeah.
Do the same for her. We'll be back in a couple of years.
Oh, man.
And then by the time that she turns 20, they pick her up and take her to the Sky Islands, and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh, God. Dude, it's gonna be sad. But, so we cut to a doctor. So she's like, oh, I want to go Sky Islands, and then my 19th birthday, I'm gonna go to Fishman Island. They're both doing the little Nika dance, which is very cute. And then we get a doctor who's like, I'm afraid that what your daughter has is an incurable disease known as sapphire scales. You know what it is? And he's like, please, not so loud. I've only heard of a few cases in recent memory. All kinds of natural light, sunlight, moonlight cause the stone to spread. But even if you block the cause entirely, it will eventually spread over time. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, sir. Your daughter has 5 years to live at best. She won't see her 10th birthday, and there's no known cure yet. Age 10, which, like we said before, she was 10 years old during Marineford. Like, that's when Marineford happens is when she's 10.
Yeah.
And she is now 12 in the current story. So something with her devil fruit, I'm assuming, is keeping the sapphire scales at bay.
Or something related to Vegapunk.
Yeah, that too. But like, dude, this part's sad because she's like, it can't be. She's so healthy. Is there really no way to stop the disease? And she scares him like, boo! And he busts his ass. He falls over.
Bro, could you imagine his fucking 13-foot ass or whatever? 700 pounds. He drops down like if it was Lady Liberty just falling off Ellis Island.
Yeah.
Imagine. Bro, have you ever seen your dad fall?
Dude, like, I think only once when I was like really young. He like tripped on something and like fell.
Right?
I was like, bro.
You don't see dads fall. And like my dad, for example. My dad's like a pretty big guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've always been scared of seeing him fall. Like, Jesus, from up there, bro. This same feel instilled here. Like, I know the ground, the whole house, the church is shaking.
Yeah. Dude, the church is done for, dude. But he's like, Bonnie, I thought you were asleep. I heard that. What about age 10? He's like, what do you mean? I heard you say age 10. Wait, are you crying? Is it about me? Oh, age 10. Yes, at age 10. Would you believe that, doctor? He told me that you won't get better until you reach age 10. Seems so far away, I was feeling a little bit down. So I'm gonna be better when I'm 10? And then I can go around the world with you. And he's just like, oh no, what do I do? What have I done? Of course you'll get better when you're 10. Yay!
Dude.
Which, like, I feel bad, but also, like, at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Would it be better for her to like find out that she's gonna die at age 10, or like I don't know. It's a messed up situation either way, but it's like for a little kid like this, is like, dude, like, do you just tell them that like they're gonna be fine, to give them that little bit of like hope in childhood that's left?
I think like
it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Genuinely,
like,
but I think the best thing to do is like, yeah, like lie to the kid. Like okay, this is like a very weird thing to like Franz lore segment. 16 years old, I found out I had like 2 heart conditions. I had to go for surgery, and then after I left the OR, some of my vitals dropped, and because of that, I went into like super tachycardia, and hospital heart monitors go up until like 250 or 270 beats per minute. I went above that, and that's the point where they called code blue, meaning I had a heart attack. My blood was not pumping. My heart was moving so fast, it was not effectively pumping my blood and circulating it. So that happened to me, age 16, this and that, whatever. I didn't know that happened to me. All I know is that I passed out, and then I woke up in the ICU the next morning. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And then for a month, I didn't find out that happened to me until, this, I do fault my folks for not fucking like covering their asses and like getting around to it. But like, they had told my friends, and no, not even that. They told fucking our band director, and the band director told my friends.
A series of telephones.
Because they were like the section leaders in the band.
Yeah.
But like, why the fuck did they have to know? Anyways, whatever. So they knew, and that's how I found out that I had a heart attack. But this was like a month, if not 2 later. And then I was pissed about it. I was like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like 10 years removed from that. And now I'm like, yeah, it's like really reasonable. They were worried that like the stress of finding out about that would strain me further, and then would send me into shock again. Like, yeah. They did the correct thing. And similarly, like, yeah, I think that the best situation here was to have lied to Bonnie so that she could live whatever short life she presumably would have.
Yeah. Again, with because we're the observers and we know that Bonnie's just like fucking chilling, eating chicken, like in the current timeline. Like, got messed up, but in Kuma's dilemma, I think I know he's like, oh, like what have I done? But it's also like, dude, I honestly think that's the best. Like, like it's gonna be sad for him, but at the same time, like, it's best to preserve her like life and give her the best life she can have.
Yeah, like it's the kind of thing where like, dude, fucking, could you imagine Kuma like doing like, you know, like the face that Luffy did as he held Ace?
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine that? But like with Bonnie, like fucked, entirely fucked.
Yeah.
He'd be the one suffering, but like Bonnie would be normal for like, what is it, 5 more years?
Yeah.
So like,
dude,
it's for the best.
Messed up. Yeah. I do. So like, this is the end of the chapter. It's like 1 year later, the Nightmare returned to Sorbet Kingdom. And like, Kumachi, you have to help. King Bakori's gone and done it again. It's 16 years ago all over again. He's gonna burn everyone he thinks is weighing the country down. He's inhumane, I tell you. They're slaughtering folks in the street. So something here is going to happen with Bonnie. And Kuma is, if Kuma, like, okay, I think Kuma's gonna, like, kill this guy. Like, I think.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think this dude is getting a paw print shaped blast through his skull. Like, I think
So the pawpaw fruit can like
he's gonna pawpaw fruit his brain through his skull.
exactly. He's gonna fucking the way that Law can like chambers like body parts out of people and like
Yeah,
he could
the pawpaw fruit could make anything a shotgun shell.
anything a shotgun shell, and like the hand is also a shotgun shell, so it'll just fucking he's gonna have a hole in his fucking chest, and the chest the chest. Okay, hold on. I was gonna make an analogy to a donut hole, like the and then what were they called? The Munchkins? Yeah. That's what they're called at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
The dough from the hole. Instead of a munchkin, it's gonna be a chestkin. It's just gonna be like on the fucking wall behind him. Like, this dude's ultra dead.
Yeah, this dude is done for. I will say I do really like. Okay, so Ginny's entire like everything that happened to Ginny just completely messed up. Like it's one of those things in a story that's like it's so messed up, but I love it for the world building and the message that Oda's like listen, these people are not just like comically funny, like, oh, I draw them stupid because I hate them. Like, they are terrible people. They are a blight on this world, the Celestial Dragons, and like the things they do are terrible, are evil. That being said, like, I love that, like, the love that Ginny had, the persisting love that Ginny had for Kuma is like represented by Bonney, and the fact that she like risked her life, the very end of it, to bring Bonney to Kuma is like heartbreaking. But I do also love that, like, that little panel of him being like, oh, your jewels make you look so beautiful, and she's like, oh yes, I love them. Like, or she's like, oh, you think so? Like, I love how that is like when she becomes a pirate and gets her devil fruit, like, that I'm Jewelery Bonney. Like, this is like this is me. Like the jewels, like, okay, whatever sickness happens, but like my father thought they were beautiful, so that's what I'm gonna name myself after. Like,
yeah,
bruh, it's so good.
So like here we are an hour and a half into this podcast episode.
Yeah.
But there's still so much to discuss. Let's first tackle what could possibly occur with Bonnie's predicament. Because, we know she's fine now. So, like, what happened? Like you said, there's, like, the fruit fixed it or is helping hypothesis. And then there's my side of, like, the Vegapunk hypothesis. I think that's generally where people stand regarding this.
Yeah. So we still don't know, like, pardon my not knowledge of One Piece. Bonnie's fruit has not been named as of yet, right?
I believe so.
Devil fruit. It has been named Toshi Toshi no Mi.
Okay. Then that would be, I mean, unless we pull a fucking Nika again.
Yeah. Toshi is the Japanese for age or year, so the age fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right, because her fruit, I think the way somebody in our Discord was talking about it, I think. So her fruit, she can like manipulate her age, but it's like it gets a little more like Multiverse of Madness than that. Because she can hold on. I'm on the fandom. God bless. LOL.
Right. Please get yourselves away.
Yeah. Any markings the target may have will not be affected by this power, as Jinbei still retained his scar around his left eye after being turned into a child by this ability.
The only way... continue.
Notably, the user also has the choice of employing possible alternate futures while aging herself and others forward in time. In the anime, Bonnie glows pink while using her powers. So there's a portion I remember when Bonnie picked up like a pipe and was trying to like swing at Vegapunk, and she was like muscular. And I think it's been explained that like, oh, that's
I remember this.
That's like her, like she's using an alternate future of herself to get like that's a body of hers in an alternate future, like an alternate timeline or something. So the only thing I can think of is that she's keeping the disease at bay by using that body of hers.
Oh,
like the main body she's using that's age 20 something is the one
where she's cured.
That exists in an alternate future where she's cured.
I can see that. I think, it's not far-fetched, especially given how, like, yeah, you're right. It's literally a technique called distortion future, that she used. So, like, it's either that or a sheer kind of thing of, like, not surface area, but just like she would have more mass as an adult, therefore like a disease would metastasize, it would spread slower, ? What I'm like more specifically referring to is like whales and elephants and shit, right? They don't have cancer.
Oh shit.
And the reason is because like like there is some idea that like, oh, they might have like a like something in their genome that is like cancer suppressing. But another idea is like they have the same amount of cancer that like a human could. They just are bigger. So proportionally, the amount of cancer that they have due to their gigantism is like not any issue.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know, like it might be a little bit of both kind of thing.
Yeah.
Apparently dolphins also don't get fucking cancer or shit, but Peto's paradox or Peto's paradox. The observation at the species level, the incidence of cancer does not appear to correlate with the number of cells in an organism. So whales, very big, very many cells.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like research into this. That's another way I can think of like the fruit fixed her. Because 5-year-old Bonnie is the size, it like goes up to my knee, right? And then like adult Bonnie, like 20-year-old Bonnie, I'm pretty sure she's taller than I am.
Yeah, which is like, I feel like it has to do something with the fruit. But this also, I feel like this also leads into...
Oh, she's as tall as
like,
I am.
Oh, shit. Like, okay, so we know Bonnie, like... Again, I keep going back to that scene where Blackbeard captured her and traded her to the Marines for, like, the whatever he took, the ships and other stuff. And then, like, Akainu had a line to her that was like, you know, like, how important you are, or something like that. Like, you can't keep... It was something crazy like that.
It was a weird line, implying he couldn't really deal with her as he would with most pirates. She had some type of privilege. Yeah,
which now... I think it's clear that it's like, oh, like, yeah, she is,
technically,
she is she's a celestial dragon. Like, I feel pretty,
yeah, like that's effectively it, and would very much explain in some way, like, privilege that she has, that she is above the law, even if she's not like fully celestial dragon or whatever, she still is, therefore still has said privilege.
Yeah.
But
when I heard you fled the government, my blood ran cold. but it's all over for you now. And then she's like, I'll never forgive you for this. And then, like, that's kind of where it ends. But it's like, yeah, when you ran away from the world government, my blood ran cold. And it's like, oh, okay.
Which would have been, like, literally, yeah. If you're
Again,
Inu
whatever
and Celestial Dragon's child disappears 10 years prior, that's kind of fucking crazy. So that might be it.
Yeah. And especially, like, with whatever, like, that's the thing, because, like, they're still, like...
What's going on?
I don't know what's about to happen in this, like, Sorbet Kingdom thing. I mean, at the end, because what, didn't she... So, backtracking, Kuma was called the Tyrant King.
Oh.
And we know that he was in the Sorbet Kingdom.
And he is, quote-unquote, the monarch of the Sorbet Kingdom.
Yeah. And, like, so, yeah, he was called the Tyrant King, and then specifically Bonney was like, that's a freaking lie.
Hear me out.
What? Yeah. So, whatever happens, I'm thinking he straight up does use this dude's head as a shotgun barrel, and then, like, he becomes, like, the righteous king or whatever. Or even if he doesn't, like, become, like, well, that's the thing. I don't know, because now, okay.
So, I think I have the formula.
Does he? Okay.
So,
cook. Let him cook.
He eviscerate, like, he fucking ligma balls. He's
who's Steve Jobs?
Yeah. He hits that ligma balls on the guy's fucking brain, and the guy's dead, right?
Yeah.
But they're like a member state of the world government, like ostensibly goes to reverie type shit, right?
Yeah.
So the Marines are on their way. No matter what he's doing, like, there's chaos on the island. The Marines, if not being there, are on their way. And
oh my god, wait, yeah. When in the timeline did the last reverie take place?
I think he would attend the previous reverie after this. So, like, this is 6 years in the past. I think the last reverie was 5 years in the past.
Ah, okay.
So, like, I don't know.
So I guess what, 1 year, because when we saw Bonney, it was 7 years prior to the current day.
So 1 year forward.
And then at the very end of the chapter, 1 year forward.
We're at 6.
So I guess one year after that would be the next reverie.
I believe.
It was like every.
Is it every 5 years?
Ago? I'm trying to find the reverie.
The page. I think you have to spell it the Scanlation way.
It was 8 years ago was the last one, I believe.
Okay, so never mind. But that's neither here nor there. The most important thing is, like, the Marines are on their way.
Yeah.
Kuma is a one-man army, especially when he's very motivated, and he's incredibly motivated right now, right?
Yeah.
So either Vegapunk comes with the Marines or not. Like, that I don't know. But there has to be some sort of deal, right? And I don't think the deal can be like, okay, I will calm down and not fuck up the rest of the world government by myself. I will not solo you bitches. In exchange, this, and that. I don't know what Kuma could have offered, but what he's received is kinghood over the Sorbet Kingdom, asterisk. And the asterisk would be, like, you have a, like, we're still gonna fucking, like, lie and say that you, like, killed the king and deposed him and now you're the king. Like, you can't just get away with that. You're not gonna have a reputation. So, like, he's the king, asterisk. Get a cure for Bonney. Leave this island alone. Yeah. Like, those are the three things he would get. What he could possibly offer without, like, literally giving up Revolutionary Army secrets, I have no clue. Yeah. I mean, unless he did just give Revolutionary Army, or because they know they're on Baltigo.
Maybe what I think it is that he tells, so he wanted to keep it like to his grave, the whole Buccaneer bloodline thing, because he didn't want to like pass it on.
Oh,
we know that the Marines are like obsessed with the Giants. Maybe he told them like, hey, like I will let you, like you can take my blood, experiment on like this Buccaneer thing.
Yeah.
Like as long as my daughter can be saved. like
that, like I will become your weapon literally and metaphorically, as like his Buccaneerness is what has given the chassis, some degree, something of his Buccaneerness has led them to develop those guys, and probably the Seraphim as well.
Yeah.
So like, does Kuma bleed green? No, he's bled red before on screen. Okay. I was about to say like,
does he bleed green?
Bro.
Damn.
Okay, yeah. I think we've got it. He goes in, kills the dude Rex shit. Marines come, and he gives the ultimatum. I'm a Buccaneer. Do with that literally whatever you will. Literally whatever you will. I will be your slave again under these 3 conditions. Leave the island alone, get a cure for my little girl, and I honestly, those 2 conditions. That's really it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be, I don't think he would have wanted to be the king.
Yeah.
Like it's just Big News Morgan or something like did that shit for them. Yeah. And they just like ran with it. So, yeah, that's the Vegapunk theory. That's how it can happen, I feel.
Yeah. And then whatever happens after that, because we know that Vegapunk somehow, I mean, he gives up like the rest of his humanity.
Yeah.
For something, and we can assume now that it has to do with Bonnie.
Right. Whether it's directly how they cure her or indirectly how they cure her, I don't know, but
yeah, but we know that she's like, she has something to do with that deal. I'm assuming it's to protect her that he like lets them automate his like body, but I do think that it's still like, I think we're gonna see, as the years get closer and closer, I think we're gonna see Kuma, before he becomes fully roboticized, like he's going to see like, because when does the first time we see Kuma in the story, isn't it after Skypiea?
Yes.
And he's like, I think he's already kind of experimented on.
Yeah.
But he's not fully like cyborg yet.
Right.
Because I think I remember them saying that like the last part of his like humanity, his like the last part of like self-control he had was defending the Sunny for 2 years.
Right.
And then when he left, like then he just became full on, like that was the end of his humanity.
I think when we saw him most human was on Thriller Bark.
Yeah. So I could see, as we get closer to the timeline, like, again, I feel like he sees the silhouette of Luffy in the sky just like Bellamy did, and then he just kind of like, I guess, gets obsessed with the Straw Hats, and like, or Luffy specifically, and like wanting to help Luffy and stuff, because like a lot of the stuff in the story, his involvement in the story is like, he never outright like says it, but it's like he's helping Luffy. Like he puts him through the stuff, like instead of letting because even Borsalino on Saburi is like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you intervening? Like, because Borsalino is ready to just rip them to shreds.
Oh,
like, yeah, I'm gonna kill them all. And then he, like, when he pops them all away, he's like, what the hell did you do? Like, why did you intervene? And he gives him some kind of like whatever answer, but it's like, no, that's why, because he's trying to help them. Like,
yeah, he's using the last of his humanity in quote unquote he's complying, but he's doing so like destructively.
Yeah, because that's the thing where it's like whatever whatever his mission is by the end of his life, I think it's like, I don't know. Because it has to do with Bonnie, but at a certain point, it's like, I think when he's doing the stuff for the Straw Hats is a similar thing to Dragon, where like wherever Bonnie ends up, I think he knows that she's like safe.
Yeah.
And then he's just like helping out the Straw Hats at the end of his life. Because I feel like if Bonnie wasn't safe and he had at least a little monicum of free will, like
if he knew
in the story, we would have seen him like he is now, like busting down doors to get to where Bonnie is. Like,
yeah.
But it's like not the case. So I feel like the reason he's acting that way in the current story when we see him, like when we first saw him introduced into the story, I feel like that at that point, whatever's about to happen to Bonnie is like a thing where she's going to be like maybe he knows that she's like cured, quote unquote, or that she's not in danger of the disease anymore.
Right.
Whether that was a deal, like whether that cure came from a deal with the world government, I have no idea, but
yeah, like there's still a lot to that. I still want to talk a little in depth about the like sexual assault stuff.
Yeah, we can do that at the end of this, so that way.
Right.
I mean, when we edit it, we'll put timestamps in. But
yeah, exactly. But
yeah, dude, it's messed up, bro. like
to
say the very least about it, it's messed up.
There's been like a lot of discourse of like the trope, right? Of like, so what people are criticizing Oda for doing is using a trope. I don't know if it has some fancy pants name or whatever, but effectively like we discussed earlier, this flashback isn't even for Bonnie, it's for Kuma. Kuma is what this is about. And Bonnie's sexual assault is accessory to Kuma's story.
Yeah.
It's not like something about her per se. Ginny in general is kind of just like accessory to Kuma's story. And I think that is an unfortunate but correct assessment. I think the most charitable way you could defend Oda on this is that while yes, in this chapter and in this arc, this serves like this accessorizes Ginny to the point where she is just a footnote in Kuma's grander story. The most charitable way that you could say is that Oda is not having her be accessory to Kuma, which is like the sexist thing, the sexism in the trope.
Yeah.
But rather, unfortunately, like her assault is in service of like the world's story. I think that's the most charitable you can be.
Like, it's tough, right? Because Oda is, I mean, he constantly goes on record like talking about like, you know, he just wants to make like, well, it's two things. Like he talks about like he wants to make a manga that like everybody can enjoy, and like, you know, he makes it for like a younger audience, obviously, but he also like wants to obviously have this world that's built out and stuff like that. And he definitely does not shy away from these kinds of things, like these really dark subject matter. I do feel like in this instance, it was like it's still like criticizable the way he went about it, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how else like he could have like,
right.
There's probably another way, because I mean the point of it is he's trying to drive home the fact that like, you know, what these people do is like literally pure evil,
right? And
like when you understand this assault and this sort of like slavery, sexual assault, and you think back to like Boa Hancock's situation where it's like when you're reading that flashback and you're reading like
Boa Hancock, exactly,
like, you know, she has this scar on her body that she's very, like, all of them have this thing on their physical body that they're very ashamed of. And like nobody can see. And then like when they finally break down the barrier and like talk about it, it's literally like, oh, we were all three sisters, young sisters, abducted at a young age and slaves to a celestial dragon, and they what is he say? He's like, oh, like they fed us fruits for fun and they branded us. And it's like, okay, but really, like, you know, what were they like? Like the Boa Hancock situation is him showing like kind of tiptoeing around it, and I feel like this one is him outright sort of saying like, no, like this is what they do, they're freaking pure evil.
Like,
but I do agree, because it just sucks when it's like, in doing it this way, Ginny does become sort of an accessory to, or not sort of, an accessory to the story of how this goes about. But it's also like, I don't know if he knew of any other way. And I mean, I'm not a writer, so I have no idea.
So,
like, I'm not about to backseat write the story for him, but it's like, it's a tough situation to try to depict that in this story.
Yeah. In the specific context.
Yeah, to describe it in the specific context while also like not outright like making it a seinen manga, I guess is the best way to put it. You
right.
know?
Like, have you like watched Red Berserk? I haven't, so I don't feel great making the comparison.
Yeah, Berserk. I mean, because it's a lot more graphic.
Yeah,
and in nature,
it is.
So they
like,
go full on, like showing you sort
but
of. But like,
it's not like
no. This is what happened.
It's not the graphicness that I like want to highlight. It's like spoilers, I guess, for Berserk. Even though like if you know anything about it, like I know next to nothing. All I know is how much time he spent on a ship and worries that like Mira like died during the tsunami.
Oh yeah, that too.
All I remember is that, and like the kind of the stuff at the beginning that I'm gonna like explain, where it's like,
yeah,
at the beginning, Guts and
everybody gets assaulted.
Twink Boy. Yeah, no one gets. Yeah. Guts and Twink Boy best friends, whatever. Twink Boy wants to be boy lover, kiss mooch mooch. But brown woman in the way. So he decides to do a racism, sexism, and rapes her. But like narratively, all that does is illustrate it. It is very directly an accessory to what is Twink Boy's name?
Griffith.
Thank you. Like that scene is accessory to Griffith to let us, the audience, know Griffith as an individual is crazy and fucked up, man. Yeah. There's other ways to show that, and no doubt Berserk has. But Berserk wants to like hit a certain degree of realism. Is that entirely necessary? I don't have the context to say yeah, but I also don't really see where there could be one, other than like, oh, but Berserk is like realistically grungy. Okay, so is One Piece.
Yeah.
So is One Piece, and that's where I'm trying to like get at, where like this isn't accessory to like Kuma's story, because like Adri's like right now like live backseat podcasting. I say that as if that's a bad thing. She has like very like astute things to add. She argues that the flashback isn't even about Kuma, it's about Bonnie, which like I can definitely see the argument. Yeah. And through that, like yeah, she's a child born of rape, born from the celestial dragons, born of the horror, and like that's a very real thing. Like we talk about how everything the celestial dragons do mirrors something that like real life United States government has fucking done. So and she makes a great argument that like sure, it could be like about Kuma, but Kuma's fucking dead. So the only aspect
for all
of
intents
Kuma,
and purposes, this man is dead.
Right. So like you were arguing earlier, like the only aspect of Kuma that is like around is Bonnie. So like if it's about Kuma, it is still in some capacity about Bonnie. But like
Yeah.
even aside from that, like the unfortunate reality is like One Piece's realism exists not in service for like shock factor, which I'm saying that very nuanceless and not knowing about like what Berserk is really about. But like One Piece's realism is to serve as a like, hey, this really happened and is still happening
Yeah.
geopolitically in our real world history, right? So he doesn't use it to like serve the story. He uses it to serve the metaphor, the fact that like this is what colonialism is like. This is what the powers that be are like. And so in that way, it serves the world. And like, and on top of that, like Adri's bringing up right now, like there was no like detail. It's implied. It's there. It's what happened.
Like I said, it's like Bonnie is the detail of it. Like Bonnie's existence is like the
I understand.
Yeah, like the oh no.
Yeah.
Like oh no. It's the same again. Like the big like comparison I can make is the Boa Hancock thing, where it's like, you know, all the stuff about her character that we get revealed or whatever, and then like the final like breaking down of that wall and showing the brand on her back, and like her body language when she's showing it to Luffy, and like the way the sisters are reacting when they're talking about that. It's that one was very much implied, like, hey, like,
yeah, it's a much deeper implication.
This is what happens. Yeah. Whereas this one is like, the implication's still there, but it's like when you see Bonnie's existence and you, like, just that line of like, oh, she got taken to be like, the Celestial Dragon had his eye on her and he took her to be like his wife.
One Piece,
and it's like,
and
that line, and then immediately looking at like seeing like couple years later, there's a baby and Ginny died, and it's like, oh, like I don't like this at all.
So like One Piece and Oda do not ever feel the need to be explicit about most things like of genuine horror, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not going to get chapters upon chapters of like people just getting wiped from islands. If it happens, it's either really quick or it's something historical. And likewise, like, is someone raped as a product of slavery, and then there's a child as a product there of that? We don't need to see that. We don't need to see that. We just need to know that that's the reality and it reflects our current reality. And I'm going to compare it to something that I'm actually knowledgeable about. Like, so Fate Stay Night, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I'm not even literally fuck you. Like, this isn't even important. No spoilers. Fate Stay Night was written when Nasu was like 18, and he was just coming into a very, very concrete, like already been there for a while, a decade, industry of visual novels. And visual novels at that time were incredibly and exclusively synonymous with eroge. Like, if there's a visual novel, there's going to be porn in it.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. So he acquiesced, and there's porn in the visual novel. But if astutely, like, anyone can observe that thereafter, there has never been porn. Nasu has as much money as Hosho Marine does, right? They both have fuck you money. The man could fucking have anybody produce any aspect of anything of the fucking Fate Stay Night. But there's no, like, explicit, like, sex stuff anymore. other than the Studio Dean thing, don't get me started.
Yeah.
But that was back in 2006, right? The one thing they've kept that is still like really like not really necessary is that Mato Sakura, the purple-haired girl, she has like mana leeching insects that live inside her, and the way they live inside her is surprise the vagina and the butt, like. And that's something that's still around in the franchise, and I wish it wasn't. It's not necessary anymore, y'all. Like,
Natsu, please retcon.
She could swallow it through her like throat, which in the most recent Heaven's Feel, I think that might have been how it was depicted. But I think the other reason like they keep that around is because like she is a child literally bought and used as like a political piece, and the guy that bought her is an insanely fucked up guy. So like it kind of mirrors that. But so like, okay, she has like bugs inside her, and they still want to show the bugs being weird perverted shit. Sure, whatever. That's not where I'm getting at. What I am getting at is at the end, in certain like lines through the visual novel, like Saber is captured and she's in a literal like wedding dress, and you're like forced to watch her be fucked. I don't remember by who or like under what conditions, but like I think there is one way where it's like related to these insects. And, like, it basically just becomes, like, tentacle rape porn.
Yeah.
It's not fucking necessary. It's not necessary at all. I don't know how it's been
in, like,
depicted in the newest movies. I haven't gotten around to them. I probably should. But, like, I'm very confident in, like, me right now saying, like, it's just not fucking necessary for that to be there simply as, like, shock value or, like, for fan service. Fate is much larger than that. There's other avenues of fan service that Fate definitely takes up, like, and uses. Like, we don't have to show rape scenes.
Less of these gross rape scenes, more of that purple tiger tail samurai mommy character that's like 15 feet tall or something. I don't know what she does. She's in the mobile game. She has like a belt with a tiger tail on it, and she's like a samurai, or she has a sword. She's usually with Ashura Doji, and she's like a berserker class or something. And her whole thing is that
does she have like the basketball sized titties, and she wears like the thing that Taki from Soul Calibur does, but it's purple?
Yes.
Okay, that's Minamoto Raiko.
Yes.
Yeah, that's genuinely
less gross scenes. Just more of her on screen. I don't care what she's doing. Make her, I don't know. Just
yeah. No,
can we get more of that? Less of the first thing,
right?
Like, Natsu, please.
To kind of just like bring it all in. For Fate, rape scenes are just kind of not fucking necessary unless like it's a historical character who, through those historical contexts, was like then raped. Like. That's like a reasonable context. If the magical girl boy, King Queen Arthur of Arthurian legend, who wasn't real in the first place, like, thank you French people for inventing King Arthur. Only thing you've done right. If he, she, it, girl boy, King, blonde needs to be like tentacle fucked for magic holy grail thing.
I think your story might need some rewrites. I think you need an editor.
Right. And that's why like I know next to nothing about Berserk, so I'm hesitant to say, but from where I stand, it does seem that like it really is just to serve showing how fucked up Griffith is.
Yeah, in the beginning, I would say that it serves to like when it happens in the beginning as you're reading through the story, it serves to it just serves to show how messed up Griffith is, that he would stoop as low as to do something like that.
Like,
but they do, like, for all the characters, they do delve into, like, because even Casca has, like, there's scenes of her, like, dealing with it, and you go into her, like,
sure.
There's a scene, so, like, basically after it happens, and after the whole, like, main first part of the story happens, like, Guts gets on this ship because he's trying to find, basically Casca, like, falls asleep as part of this, like, curse or something. I haven't read it in a while, so, like,
sure.
But basically she's out of commission. She's unconscious, and it's like he's trying to find, like, a cure for her. So he's traveling around and he's gaining this party, and he's like, he himself is going through character growth, learning to, like, let go of the rage that he had for Griffith, and, like, learning to, like, he's going through his own journey of discovery. But there is a point where they're like, well, if we have to, like, go into Casca's, like, subconscious and, like, see if we can pull her out of her despair that way. And there's, like, an entire, like, arc of them going deeper into Casca's mind, and it's like you get to see how these events have traumatized her in, like you see the trauma given physical form in the manga by, like, oh, like, these, like, we're fighting these, like, demons in her mind that represent these things, and, like, we're running away from them, we're trying to, like, you know, fix everything. And they definitely, I feel like later on, like, when they're delving into the topic later on, they do a good job of, like, working through that kind of, like, what that trauma does to a person.
Yeah.
But that is, like,
and it gives
later in the manga,
it gives her, like, character ownership of, like, that event, as opposed only Guts so far had ownership of that event.
Yeah. And it's a thing where it's like, as the manga was beginning, when that happened so early on, there is, like, a shift. I'll try to find a video and post in the Discord. There's a video, I think it's a Super Eye Patch Wolf video about...
No shit.
About Berserk, because he read through all of Berserk and he made a video. But he talks about, like, when Miura is early on, he is cranking out these chapters, and he's just writing these gory, like, dude, I'm gonna draw this high fantasy Dark Souls stuff, and it's gonna be dark for the sake of it, and it's gonna be raw as hell, and it's sick, and it's Dark Souls, and it's awesome. And then, like, as he was working through his own, like, pain of, like, being a mangaka, that, like, I mean, his schedule was, like, I mean, Oda has a pretty good schedule, all things considered, because the story of Miura's schedule was, like, he'd get, like, 2 hours of sleep a night, and then, like, he would like, destroy himself.
Yeah.
That's why the hiatus, like, it was so long and it kept happening, because, dude, he would, like, destroy his own body to draw this stuff. And then, like, after a while, you can see in the manga, like, the focus starts changing. And it's not so much of him wanting to write these, like, messed up stories, but it's him wanting to, like, I'll post a video in here. But basically, it's like him wanting to, like, work through his own anger issues through the manga, and, like, Guts represents him, like, sort of accepting what has happened and finding the strength to move on and not forget the pain that you went through, but to use that as a motivation to make, like, the best of what you have, and to make your life better for others. Because there is a point in the manga where, like, Guts just has this moment of just, like all, like, Griffith, like, all this hatred that he has. There's a chapter where it's just like, as you're reading the chapter, you can feel it. It's just like Guts has let everything go. Like, he's let his hatred go, because holding on to the hatred is, like, ultimately, like, you know, it's like killing him or whatever. Like, it's not good for his own mental. But it's like Berserk later on in the story becomes that. But it's like, definitely, yeah, like the whole thing with Casca in the beginning with Griffith, it's very much for edge's sake.
Right.
And that's the stuff that's like, okay, let's not do that.
Yeah. I thank you for making my straw man a not straw man and like actually bringing in the context.
It's definitely for the beginning of the story, like as you're reading through it, when the Casca thing happens, you're like, oh yeah, no, this is
I found out about that like a year ago. That's how like little people talk about it, because like I only hear about Berserk from people who actually have like good taste in media, and everything that they talk about is like the healing stuff and like letting go and like all that stuff. And all I hear, like
the beginning was so edgy.
I never listen to anybody who plays Dark Souls say anything about Berserk ever.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm so glad that I've just followed that fucking instinct.
Yeah.
Like Griffith's just fucking raw dogs her for no goddamn reason right in front of Guts. The same way that Saber is fucking raw dogged in front of Shiro. There's no sane reason for it. Other than just like, boo, gotcha. And it's like, okay. And to bring it all back, what Oda is writing this in as a like boo gotcha, but the boo gotcha is not like, ooh, rape is scary. It's like more specifically like rape is an unfortunate reality of the systems that oppress. It is a tool of the oppressor, and the like and everything that comes with that.
Yeah. Like, in terms of the story, it's like, this is what the oppressor does. Like, this is a regular thing for the oppressor, and this is all the more reason to, like, you know, push back, to fight back.
The horror is not the, like, sheer action of rape. And more specifically, what is the horror of it is, like, the horror of my wife, parenthetical object, is being taken away and soiled from me. That is the horror that is like in place during Fate and during Berserk. The horror that is happening in One Piece is that what is being talked about, not even shown, talked about, is what happens in real fucking life. That is the horror, that this is real.
Yeah. And, oh man. Yeah, I think Oda does a real good job of like explaining it to he does a really good job of presenting this in a way where the reader can connect the dots on their own.
Yes. Unfortunately,
and so
the people complaining, they just don't know how to read.
Yeah. And it's like, again, like I said before, it's like I don't know. I feel like with the kind of story One Piece is and his want to depict these things, I feel like this is probably the best way that Oda could think of to sort of represent this without it getting, you know, too, like, I mean, it's already like dark and it's meant to be that way, but it's like, you know, without it being fucking Griffith like thrown in our face. It's very tactful, I guess.
Yes. And like, I feel like a lot of the criticism that has been lobbied, like regarding this flashback and the fact that like Ginny was raped, I think that comes from like, on one hand, there are a lot of people who just haven't read One Piece, and even if they have, they might not like really see the way we're reading it, which like I want to phrase it that way because like I'm hesitant to say like, oh yeah, like Oda's writing Communist Manifesto 2.0. Like I don't want to like bring that up even. Like we're
Oda to his editor, they think I'm writing what?
Yeah. Like we're reading it in a very specific like leftist anti-colonial context. Like that's why we have this whole podcast and this and that. We can't assume that everyone's reading it in that same context. Like a lot of people are still reading it, evidenced by Twitter. The rubber boy does funny rubber stuff. How
Funny Boy
people
does funny
are
rubber
still
stuff.
there is beyond me, but that's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
So like, there's people that are just not like, they don't maybe have like a full picture of why,
Yeah.
and like, I think the best faith, like, consistent, like, if you're going to stay arguing that like this Ginny should not have been raped, like, I don't think there's like a good way to argue that, like, in the context of the whole narrative, because
Yeah.
the reason why this is how the narrative is gone is to mirror real life horror. Like,
Yeah.
if that's not something that you want in your media, like, that's understandable, and that's literally why we have a fucking content warning at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's also why it wasn't like expressly or explicitly shown. It was just implied.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I'll stay defending Oda for a lot of things, and this will be one thing. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
the optics of it are bad.
No,
I get it, but
no, yeah, so it's yeah. I'll defend Oda on this one too, because it's like, the optics are bad, but it's like if you're reading it, it's like, again, like this is One Piece. One Piece, he is constantly like depicting, like he's constantly drawing like influence from real life events and real world geopolitical going ons, to fuel how his world works in the story.
yeah.
And things are over exaggerated and stuff, but like he's not just making, like, the world government is not just the enemy because they're the bad guys
Right.
that wear the capes. Like, the world government is the enemy because they explicitly serve the oppressing class, and they are allowing these horrors to happen in this world. And it's like, if
They serve
if you can read all of that and still think that One Piece is not like political, it's like, okay.
Yeah, like we just keep getting back to the whole, like, how, dear God, can you read One Piece and not think it's political? Holy fuck. Like, please.
I can
like, all art should be
I can
political in some way. It has something to say, and what it says has some political, like, value to it. Like, whether it's intentional or not, like, that's a whole other thing. But, like, yeah, like, it's insane for anybody to still be reading, Funny Boy does funny rubber things, and only that. What planet are you on? Yeah.
I can cap this whole thing off with, there was a TikTok I saw, and it was like, if you read One Piece week to week and you side, like, you think Israel's not doing anything wrong, like, bruh, stop reading One Piece. Like, you are not part of the Straw Hats. Luffy don't want nothing to do with you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. like, I think there's been a couple of TikToks like that going around, and one of the ones that I saw,
like, you are not part of the Grand Fleet, brother. You are not getting that Visa card. Like,
something that was like, like, stay reading World Government Peace.
yeah, that's good. I like that,
because that's what it is. Like, okay,
yeah.
We've put ourselves in a position once again where we can't do the funny end stuff. There's no segue, so we're just doing the end stuff. Bear with us.
Yeah, there is there was a freaking there's no real way for after that, like, after the stuff that happened in this chapter, there's nothing but nervous laughter I can offer to be like, yeah, funny.
Rubber Boy.
Yeah, hey!
One Piece is political, but let our brains hurt right now, so let's think about the funny Rubber Boy.
Yeah. But no, that'll wrap it up for us this week. do not forget to follow us on all of our social media. We're at Paramecia Cast on Twitter, Paramecia Fancast everywhere else. If you want to join in on the discussions we have about the latest chapter, the latest chapters of other manga, the latest anime episodes, join the Discord, Paramecia Flower Capital. The invite link is on all of our social media bios, in the description of every YouTube video. The YouTube channel as well, Paramecia Fancast is the YouTube channel. If you're more into One Piece TCG stuff, we have our second channel, Paramecia TV. That's sort of just a depository for all of the non-podcast videos we're planning to do. So like random video essays on other topics, theories, One Piece TCG stuff.
COVID stopped me,
but
not
my
anymore.
Obsession. Yeah, but not anymore. Oh, the first draft of the script Franz sent me. You guys aren't ready. It's a good one.
Yeah, like I'm pretty proud.
Yeah. But yeah, episodes go up every single week following the official release. As soon as the episode is uploaded to our hosting site, parameciafancast.libsyn.com, you can find us on any of your favorite podcast platforms. The main ones: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, any platform you listen to podcasts on, you can find us on there. If you are listening to us on whatever your favorite podcast platform is, be sure to like the show, subscribe, leave comments on the episodes. Any bit of engagement you can leave with the episodes is the best free way to help the show out if you want to support us. Any sort of engagement that the piece of media gets, like, tells the algorithms that this is what people want, and it pushes it out to more people because there's more engagement on each episode. It's the whole reason we've gotten as far as we have, like, just word of mouth through that and proper usage of SEO. And like I've said every week, like, Google top 5 One Piece podcasts, and we're in like almost every list that's available.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. If you'd like to help the show out in a monetary way, if you're able to do so, you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Paramecia. Shoutouts to Joe Williams, Chance, Maggie Rice, Ice Stomp, The Lost Cry Dragoon, Zach, Connor, Ashok Murthy, Corey Agra, Fuddy Clam, James Sullivan, David Brownfield, Sam Thompson, Charles Ruth, Ronald Miller, and Bandle Vandal. You guys are amazing. Your support helps you get girthier episodes like this one. I think we missed last week, so you're getting a pretty big episode this week with a lot of good discussions.
This was a twofer almost.
Yeah, but it's thanks to it's really thanks to the Patreon support that we're able to, do girthier episodes like this from time to time. So I can't thank you guys enough for all the support, and we'll be back next week with the next chapter. 1099? Dang, we're 2 chapters away from 1100.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, what the hell? What kind of bad thing is gonna happen on 1100?
Oh. Ooh.
See, the way the story's going, for 1000, I was like, dude, 1000 is gonna be so hype, and we got like the hypest double page spread and the hypest moment.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And the way the story's been going now for 1100, I'm like, no, please.
Yeah.
Please.
1100 please. Is either going to be like end of flashback,
don't hurt me,
or Vegapunk's dead. Oh, I fucking forgot about the literal like Book of Revelations situation going on Egghead.
Yeah. Like,
bro,
dude, I'm leaning on more bad than good is gonna happen on 1100, but hey, we'll find out when we get there,
dude. Okay, here's the 50-50. If the flashback ends next chapter, right? And like we're gonna have to like the flashback ends, and then we get like 2 or 3 more pages, right? Like, that's the qualifier. Like, not just like, end of flashback, see you next week, right? Like, end of flashback, 3 more chapters to remind us where we are. Then chapter 1100 is Gum Gum Star Bullet, but to Saturn. That would be the ideal. That's literal best case situation. Yes. Worst case scenario, everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else. Damn. We end this one. We were already on track to end this one like mega not fun and depressed.
Yeah.
And the realization that 1100 is there and nothing looks good right now has put us straight back there for other reasons.